Welcome to the Mother May I podcast, y'all. What time is it? What's going on? What's shake and bake? I'm your host, Whitney Johnson. This is the Mother May I podcast, and you want to be here every motherfucking week. And the reason why you want to be here every daggone week is because this podcast is lit as fuck. We cover topics pertaining to parenting and motherhood to help you reclaim your time back, identify who you truly are through motherhood, and live unapologetically as the mother you know you need to be. Right? You need to be. So make sure y'all tuning in, yo. Make sure y'all here every week, because even when my words is jumbling, you know what I'm saying, I got a good word for you. You hear what I'm saying? So today's topic, we're gonna be talking about bedtime, yo. We're gonna be talking about sleep. This episode is about sleep. Lately, sleep has been my jam, okay? At one point in my life, I used to be on the go, always on moves, always had somewhere to be, something to do. But here lately, I don't mind resting. Yes, to rest. And the reason why I've been feeling like that is because I can remember at one point in my life where I would work so fucking hard, yo. I would work so hard that my legs would literally ache, my feet would hurt, my head would hurt, my whole body would ache from me constantly just working and grinding and putting it pedal to the metal every day. And I noticed that when I was doing that, because at that time I had in-home daycare, and I was doing daycare inside of my home, and so parents would come into my home, and I had up to about 12 kids at one point, y'all. Don't tell nobody. But I had a lot of kids in my apartment at the time, and we was living in the hood. I had that whole area, you know what I'm saying, with kids coming in, teaching them, educating them, doing my thing, right? And although I love doing that work, although I love the children, and I love even more not working for anybody, I also realized that I had a problem with learning how to slow down and take a break and rest. I did not know how to do that. Whether I work for somebody else, whether I work for myself, whether it was home on the weekends, whatever it was, I did not know how to rest and slow down. And so for me, for a long time, my habit grew into just being on the go. I associated my on the go-ness with productivity. I figured if I'm always making moves, I gotta be being productive, right? If I'm always doing something, I'm definitely out here killing it, right? Wrong. Wrong as fuck, because you can be productive and be going absolutely nowhere. You just out here doing a lot, burning yourself, wearing yourself thin, because that's what you've seen on a regular basis. That's what's normalized to you. But in all actuality, you're going nowhere fast. You just hustling. And it took me a while to realize that. But when I realized that, I started to, instead of prioritizing my hustle, I prioritized rest, right? And so last week was my birthday, right? My husband took me out to this wonderful healing place. I don't even know what you would call it, but basically we did a Himalayan salt rest and relaxation type thingy. I don't even know what it's called. And then we also did a full body detox where they took some of the toxins out of your body. And listen, after we finished that, I felt freaking amazing. Not only did I feel amazing, but I slept better. And when I did that, it was game changing for me, because I realized how much better I feel when I'm rested. When I'm rested, I can kill shit. Period, right? But a lot of times we just keep going off of a little bit of fume and thinking we still out here getting it, when really you not moving. You really not doing nothing, sis. And so I had to learn that lesson, and now I'm going to share with you guys some of the ways that you can improve your sleep and get a better night's sleep at night. Because I know a lot of y'all are just like me. You have small children at home, you working, you're doing all the things, and you're trying to figure out how to get better sleep for yourself at night and for your children. So this episode is about that, okay? So I'm going to dig in, and I'm going to share with you 5 ways that you can get a better rest at nighttime, all right? So y'all gonna see me looking down, because I'm looking at my notes, because I want to make sure I give y'all all this tea. So number 1, y'all know I'm crazy. Number 1, get some sunlight. Get some mother-loving sunlight. And I don't care if you're not interested in going outside and standing in the sun. You ain't got to do that. Open the blinds up in your house. Open windows up and get a little fresh air. Take a drive around the block a few minutes. But it's very, very important for you to get some type of vitamin D in your body each day. Not only you, but your children. Open the blinds up in their room. Show them the outdoor area. Look out the window for a few minutes. But that vitamin D is so vital to our health and well-being that we sometimes sleep on it and don't realize the importance of us being in connection with the sun, especially people who have a lot of melanin in their skins like myself. Like, we need the sun. The sun loves our skin. We need that. And a lot of times we avoid that because, we done got lazy, don't feel like doing all that. But these things can actually be game changing and help you get a better night's sleep. So open the blinds, go outside, do something, but get you some sunlight. That's number one. The second thing is move your body. And a lot of times we think that moving your body means doing these long ass exercises and stuff. And listen, I'm the last person to sit here and tell you to do a long ass workout, because I ain't even down like that. But what I do is sit in my mirror and twerk for 2 songs that I like. Hello. What I do is opening up my body in the morning by stretching and just moving around for a few minutes so that I can connect with what feels good for me, right? But you can't do that if you're never using your body. If you're never moving around, you'll never be able to do that. So always try to move your body, even if it's just walking around the house over and over and over and over and over again in a circle. Because I do that too. I literally just walk around, just keep walking up and down my stairs, whatever it takes, but just move your body. Find ways to move your body and don't make excuses for why you can't prioritize that, because this is going to help you get a better rest and your children to sleep better as well. Also, you're setting the examples for healthy habits when they see you modeling that. When they see that it's important to move your body, they'll learn as adults that it's important for them to also take care of their bodies and move their bodies also. So this is also a good way that you can set that foundation for health in the long run. Number 3, create some cutoff times with that screen time. Create cutoff times for screen time. The longer and longer children spend their time in front of a screen time, the less likely they will be able to sleep soundly. And here's why. The TV, the electronics, all of those things that we tend to focus so much attention on, these things are stimulating our brains. These things are making us feel relief. They're making us feel entertainment. They're making us feel all these things, all these different emotions that kind of make us feel like everything's okay. And so when we focus on that so much, we become stimulated by that. So much stimulated after long periods of time that we become overly stimulated, right? And when you become overly stimulated by it, it's hard for you to direct your attention from that into something else. So say, for instance, you may have a child that's been watching TV for a few hours and then you call their name and they can't even hear you calling their name because they are so stimulated by what they're watching or seeing on the electronics. And so if you have cutoff times throughout your day, your kids can still watch TV. You can still get those necessary breaks within your day, but there's a cutoff. There's a limit. There's a boundary to it so that it's effective for you and them in the long run. Because when bedtime comes, and they wired up because they've been in the seat in front of the TV all day, you're like, dang, why you won't go to bed? A lot of times that's because they've been overstimulated throughout their day. So one thing that you can definitely do is cut down their screen time throughout the day and put it into small intervals of electronic time. Another thing when it comes to cutoff times is those kids who are potty training. Another thing that you can do for cutoff times is cut off their water intake after a certain period of time. Like, you don't need to be drinking water at this time of night if you know that I'm trying to potty train you and you don't have a diaper on, like whatever it is. You have to create those cutoff times so that you can have a sound sleep at night. So these are things that you need to pay attention to too if you haven't already. Okay, I talked about that one. My bad, y'all, I'm cooking. All right, the next one is process your feelings. Processing feelings. I talk a lot about emotions and feelings because, listen, a lot of times we avoid those things, especially in our culture. We don't like to talk about emotions. We don't like to talk about feelings. Nothing other than being happy and excited. If it ain't happy and excited, we ain't trying to talk about that shit. But that is so reverse opposite of what life really looks like, right? Because in the real life, you're not going to be happy all the time. Things are not always going to go as rainbows and sunshine and all that stuff, right? And so one of the most important things you can do as a mother is teach your children how to process their emotions by processing your own. At the end of your day, don't just lay down in your bed and not process your day and what happened and how you felt. A lot of times we just sit and hold that shit in, and then you don't get a good night's sleep because you're holding on to so much bullshit that happened throughout your day. One of the things that I like to do is journal, meditating, and even cannabis, weed. Listen, you have to find a way to relax your mind and clear your head. And for some people, those things work. But my thing is, find what works for you. Find a way for you to take the stresses from that day out of your brain and into paper or into another space so that you don't have it so locked into your body. And like I said, you have to do what works for you, but there are ways that you can help yourself to relax and unwind from having a tough day. Another thing that I want you guys to think about too is therapy. We don't like to talk about therapy. We like to say, oh no, I'm good. I don't want folks in my business and all these other things. But the reality of it is we are dealing with a lot of trauma and unhealed pain that we don't realize we're dealing with. And when we don't face those things head on, it causes us to have these lingering feelings inside of our bodies, and we hold on to them throughout our day. And this is what affects our sleep at night. And so when you talk to a therapist, when you're journaling, when you're meditating, even when you smoke weed, whatever the hell you do, because in this space, we don't judge nobody for what the hell they choose to do, right? Whatever you choose to do, just know this. It has to be something that is helping you to cope with your feelings in a way that is productive. Right? So you're not getting your journal and talking about all the shitty stuff that happened throughout your day. No, we're not doing that. That's not going to make you feel better at the end of the night. You're going to journal to talk to yourself about solutions to your issues and figure out a way to deal with your emotions a whole lot more positively. When you're meditating, you're not thinking about the shit that happened because you know that the past is the past, and you're going to focus on your meditation and let that shit be dead. When you're smoking weed, you're not doing it as a way to cover up the stuff that has happened with you. You're using it as a way to reflect within so that you can see what direction and what path you need to take. You're doing it for clarity, right? When you go to a therapist, you're not doing it to tell them why their job does not work. You're doing it to be in co-creation mode with them to help create a new path for your life. You're working with them, right? And so a lot of times when we're not in it to win it, not fully in it to win it, it's hard for us to process our emotions, deal with our emotions, and feel like we have a path through our pain. But I want you to understand how important this part is for your sleep at night, because if you're not prioritizing your feelings and your emotions and really releasing those things at the end of the day, you are doing yourself a disservice when it comes to rest. And before you know it, these things will keep coming back up because you cannot escape it. You have to know how to deal with emotions other than happy, joy, and excitement. And the last one I'm going to tell y'all, look, we like to talk a lot about schedules, routines, and all that kind of stuff. I'm a huge fan of those things. However, I'm also a realist. And I know that sometimes, even though we have plans, we have schedules, we have routines, and all that shit, it don't always go down like that. It don't. And when those things happen and it don't go down like that, a lot of times we get thrown off and feel like we ain't did shit all day. Like our day has just went left and we just ain't did nothing all day. When the reality of it is we spend so much time making sure everything goes the way it's supposed to go all throughout the day that we feel like if it does not go that way, that somehow we messed up. Like for myself, on my weekly schedules, on Mondays, I typically am cleaning. I'm typically working on household stuff on Mondays, typically in my schedule, right? So on Mondays, cleaning up and working on my household stuff, that's subjective. I may cook, I might not. I may clean up, I might not. My theme is household. That don't mean you cooking and cleaning. That could mean that I'm also scheduling doctor's appointments from bed today. That could mean that I'm making sure that the floors are swept in the bathroom, That could be something small. That could be something big. It don't have to be anything you don't want it to be. My point is this. Set one intention for your day and just go with that. And don't hold yourself so tight to what it has to look like. Just set your intention. My intention for this day is to clean. Now, whether or not I clean the whole house up, I don't know. But my intention is to clean. And so then when that do happen, you feel great. If it don't happen, you don't have to worry about feeling like some shit. Like, oh, I didn't get nothing done. I'm so unproductive. I'm da-da-da-da. You don't have to worry about the shame and guilt of doing that towards yourself. You could just live with the fact that I set an intention to clean up the day and damn it, I swept the floor. Boop. And that's it. That's it. So when you're thinking about schedules, routines, and plans and stuff like that, all of that stuff is dope. I do it all the time. But I'm also a realist, and I understand that that may not go down like that every day. So I just set an intention. What's my one intention for today? Mondays is cleaning. Okay, boom. Whatever get clean today, I did my thing. If the whole house get clean on my cleaning day, I feel even better. But I'm not going to make myself feel like shit if I don't make these whole long to-do lists and don't get it done. And so sometimes we make it worse on ourselves by creating these long to-do lists of stuff that needs to be done instead of just being like, what's the intention? And then just rocking with that for the day. Right? And so these are some of the things that you can do to help you get a better sleep at night, is really paying attention and tapping into what needs to be addressed, what things need to be put in place, what things need to be tweaked and changed, because these things will help propel you into better sleep, and better sleep leads to better productivity, and better productivity helps you feel fulfilled and happy on the inside, so that you can show up best for your children. You can show up best for your job or your business or whatever you're doing. You can show up best for yourself and all the other people around you, because you're doing things that help you get rest and feel good about yourself. All right? So that's it for today's episode, y'all. I'll meet y'all back here next Wednesday for another episode of the Mother Made I podcast. Y'all make sure y'all join us in the Motherhood Circle. We're on Facebook. Meet us there. We are there pretty much all the time, talking about some of the challenges that we face in motherhood, and most importantly, building that sisterhood and that community of women who really want to see a change in their parenting and are willing to do that with like-minded women who are on that same wave. So if that's what you into, head on over to the Motherhood Circle, because we need you, boo. I love y'all so, so much. I also drop little free trainings and bonuses in there for them. So if that's what you're interested in, head on to the Motherhood Circle. I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mother Made I podcast. My name is Whitney Johnson, and I'm out.